How's it going, everybody? Welcome to today's Hangout. This is the Mavericks Lifestyles Rogue Hangout, and today we are joined with Sheena, and we have Stephanie as well. So Stephanie Park and Sheena Yap Chan. So, thank you guys for coming out today as well. And today we're going to be discussing a little bit more about Facebook, the pros and cons of it, which I can't really find a con yet. I know that it's pretty much all positive things with it. I know that myself, I've actually am not really new to Facebook. It's something where I've never been the actual Facebook social media person. It's actually more been Alesha and part of our duo that we have. But I know that recently Alesha's been going through tons and tons and tons of, you want to mute that out, babe? Tons and tons of more training and more research with Facebook as well. I know that she's got a lot of content to kind of go through and cover today. Now, a lot of people don't really know where to start with Facebook, and I think some history on Facebook might be a little bit of an insight to get everybody going as well. And I know that Alesha's going to talk about that for a few moments with us too.
Yeah, definitely. And if anybody's new today, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat below. If you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear from you, and hit that like button. And for those of you that join us every week, we thank you for sharing your time with us today. So I want to actually kind of explain to people the scope of Facebook and how powerful this system actually is. I think a lot of people don't realize the kind of magnitude that Facebook actually brings to the table, especially in terms of building a business online. I actually found out some interesting stats from the COO of Facebook that was shared in October, so this is pretty recent. As we all know, Facebook's been around for a while. It's actually been around for about 10 years now. It was founded in February of 2004 by Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm sure you all are aware who he is. In a college dorm, in a Harvard college dorm, which is pretty cool. So him and a bunch of his friends. And to date, 10 years later, Facebook has actually got over 1.3 billion active monthly users. That's 1.3 billion. Now, I want you to think about that for a second and understand the magnitude of how many people that actually is.
It's bigger than China, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually the size of China. The most populated country in the world, Facebook is now as big as China. Now, that is just huge. And if you think of that in terms of building any kind of business online, and where you would go to find people. Here's our cat Atreyu joining us. Facebook is definitely where it's at. If you're looking to get eyeballs on whatever it is that you're advertising, there's over 1.3 billion monthly users that are active on Facebook every single month. The population of China, that just blew me away when I heard that. It's crazy. And currently, Facebook is actually worth $210 billion. That's what Facebook is actually worth, and it's just going to rise from there. It's not stopping. So, if you've never thought of building a business online through Facebook, this is something you should, seriously consider in the near future, and we're going to talk about a few ways of how you can do that today. Facebook is very easy to use. And that's what I love about it more than anything. The person who doesn't know anything about Facebook can jump on and get started, and it's just really, really easy to use. Facebook has over 1 trillion posts that are published, more than 1 trillion posts right now. So, once again, it's pretty much where everybody's at. Facebook also own the WhatsApp, and they own Instagram as well. They spent over $20 billion over the last 2 years on those two platforms. It has more monthly users than WhatsApp, Twitter, and Instagram combined. So, it has to be the most powerful social media platform out there. It's actually number 2 on the Alexa rankings right now. Only second to Google, of course. I mean, I don't think it'll ever top Google, but it's as close as it can get. So there are also 1.5 million active advertisers on Facebook. And that's where we come into play here as people who are within a community of that run an online business. Now, a lot of us use Facebook for our marketing, for our business, with free strategies, and a lot of us use it with paid strategies. But just to give you another scope of advertisers, they're 1.5 million per month. Oh, actually, not per month.
I think that's
total.
Interesting. I think what she just said right there is actually interesting, because if there's over 1.3 billion people, and there's you okay there?
Yeah.
All right. And there's 1.5 million advertisers. Now, you always think of people saying, oh, well, you know, they'll use the S word. Oh, that's saturated. Or, you know, that might be played out. You know, so hearing anything like that, I always just look at that and I think just BS, because there's so much more room at the top. And like our cat here, she's climbing to the top too.
Yeah.
But and she owns the place. Yeah, she pays the rent. So
she does. Yeah. Yep, she's joining us.
Yeah. So there's so much room at the top, and a lot of people don't realize how much room there actually is if it's done right. And you know, Alesha used the one word easy, or she used the one word earlier. She said it's easy to use, and I think that it's easy to use if you do the right research before you start advertising with Facebook. And I think that's the real key. A lot of people, we throw that easy word around, and they'll just actually use it like a marketing tool, like a marketing word, like, oh, this is so easy to use, you can just automate everything. And with Facebook, actually now, there actually is a lot of automation you can actually put in place if you know what you're doing. And they pay, so they're how many $billion company? They're 210.
They're worth
$210 billion. So clearly they're putting in a lot of money in research and everything to continue to make it friendlier for advertisers. And the one part of Facebook that a lot of people think changes a lot is their news feed and the way ads are shown to them. But what they don't see is on the back end how much Facebook's infrastructure is growing to better or to benefit their consumers. Their consumers for Facebook are their advertisers. So it's a huge market that you might hear a lot of people saying, oh, well, like, there's so many people just advertising on Facebook right now. Well, it's still in its infancy for advertising, because Facebook didn't start advertising until like I don't know, like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't really something that they actually started advertising with. It was right before they did their IPO, when they wanted to take their stock public, is when all of a sudden the advertising boom just came in huge. And that's when you started seeing a lot of stuff change, because they know that people, they want to grow their company. They have an interest with it. So sometimes we will, as marketers, we'll try to do some really crazy things. We'll try to overthink things. We'll try to overcomplicate stuff. And there's a lot of tools that are already there with Facebook that are already built in right now that most people have no idea are even there. Seasoned pros that use Facebook a lot don't have even something. Sometimes these guys have in gals too. I'm not going to go gender biased on that, but there's so much in there. There's so many tools and resources that Facebook already gives you. You just kind of really have to know where to look. And there's so many options that Facebook has that sometimes it can seem overwhelming for where to start, whether it's making a test campaign, you know, where to start at. And I think that Alesha's going to kind of dive into a little bit more with that as well. Mm-hmm. But my favorite thing with Facebook is, why I like it, is because you have the ability to put the right message in front of the right person so much easier and quicker for a cost that's a lot more minimal than, let's say, Google AdWords or well, AdSense. Now, granted, they have a huge. Google itself has a huge database of information as well for advertisers as well too. Yet it seems like it's almost like you have to be a wizard. You have to be like Gandalf the Grey with a wizarding hat to go onto Google and actually put everything together in a way that works, that you can understand it and not want to pull your hair out because you're spending all your money in the blink of an eye. And I really think that's why we want to say Facebook is the place to go. So I think we've kind of covered, yeah, Facebook is where we have the most opportunity,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
really reach your
definitely.
target audience the quickest, the easiest. People are going to be on there, uh, and it makes it easier to find out about your target market. And it doesn't matter what niche you're in as well, too. You could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be a plumber, you could be a pilot. Well, yeah, you could be a pilot. That's going to be, yeah. You could probably find different stuff as well, too. I'm sure that there's some tools and stuff you could sell to other people. Um, if you're into golf, whatever it is that you want to do, or sell or anything, once you learn these skills, no one can take these away from you. You can just continue to grow. So from a marketer standpoint, and actually a tool belt standpoint, Facebook should be right there. Is like that one tool that you need to pull out. To if you were a carpenter, that's going to be your hammer you're going to use. Is going to be Facebook is going to be up there. So.
Yeah, definitely. I just have one more stat to share with you guys as well. There's over 1.1 billion people that use Facebook on their mobile device. Now, that's either whether it's on the app or they're actually on the actual site on their phone. And so 1.1 billion people, that's actually 1/7 of the people that are on Earth. So it's just massive. 1/7 of the Earth's people is on Facebook. So
No, that's on mobile. No.
on mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's huge. Like, if you think of the scope of that. So, by now I think all of you out there have realized how powerful this platform actually is and why you need to use it if you're building a business online, which is what we do here. So, as John Paul mentioned, the targeting options are insane. With what you can do, especially if you're using the paid advertising. I mean, you can boil it down to, who eats Vegemite sandwiches, and I'm saying that because I'm Aussie, but that's how far down you can target somebody on Facebook. It is insane what you can do, which is really, really awesome. So getting eyeballs on your stuff and, getting in front of the right target market is definitely, what Facebook is all about for marketers. And myself personally, I mean, I prefer to invest my money in marketing on Facebook opposed to maybe a solo ad or maybe, buying some traffic from an agency. There's nothing wrong with that, and we do that. But in terms of knowing who you're targeting, with other kinds of traffic, you may not know where they're coming from. And with Facebook, you're in control of that. You can actually knuckle it right down, to what people eat as far as who you want to target. So, it's pretty awesome. So, with that being said, I think I'll throw it over to Sheena because I think she's going to talk to you guys today about fan pages, which is predominantly a free strategy. We know Sheena has some really awesome fan pages and has built up a really good audience. So we wanted to bring her out today to share some of her golden nuggets on that topic.
Oh, got it.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So fan pages are a great way to promote your business on Facebook. I mean, I have a couple. I have a main one, and then I have like two that are like fairly, that are niche. One's like just a recipe, sharing healthy recipes. And another one is an 80s page, which actually was, I didn't expect it to go as big as I thought it would, just because I didn't realize how many people love the 80s. But when you start having topics as to like what you want to promote, whether it's something you love doing like cooking or baking or exercise or the 80s, you can use that and bridge whatever your business is, right? One of the things we like to do is every Friday. I've been doing this for the past couple of weeks, and you get, this is how you can get free likes versus paying for Facebook likes, and this will, help your engagement go up, help your number of likes. It's called, having just a fan page Friday party, and a lot of people do them. You see them everywhere now because it's a great way to interact with others, get likes, and get people to interact. So I'm going to try and share my screen. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know about your 80s fan page, Sheena. I'll definitely have to like that because I'm like this massive 80s fan.
I'll show it too. So
Show it.
so I'm just showing what the fan page Friday would look like. I usually make it more personal. I'll have my face on it and just do a little graphics on it. I mean, our Superwoman group actually has a great training on how to do graphics, which is great, right? If you're one of those people who want to create your own graphics, this is something just really simple. Just says fan page party. Some rules are, post your fan page URL, check others' fan pages to like and comment, and you can share yours. And as you can see, I had like over 30 comments, people sharing their Facebook, and they're also hosting their own. So you can put your own link and say, hey, I'm also hosting my own, and just hop on over. And I don't have that many likes as yet, because I'm just rebuilding it again. But I have over 1,400 people that it was reached out to organic. That's not paid. That's all organic, and it's just simply doing something as simple as doing this every single week. When you do certain things consistently every single week, it makes a big difference, right? And I post every day, maybe like once or twice, even 3. With the good thing about fan pages is that you can post every single hour and no one will get annoyed, because there's one fan page that has, I'm just trying to look for it, but I think it's called Quick Mama, or let me look for it. But they have been, this lady, grew her fan page to about, it's a 6-figure number, and she's done it all organically as well. So imagine that, and all she does is, she posts all, content that people want to. I'll have to check because I know I have it as a notification. Quirky Mama. So I'm just gonna show you. Like, this is a great page to follow because she has. Oh, I was wrong. She has almost 1.1 million likes on Facebook, and she posts like every single hour. Whether it's a question, whether it's her blog or somebody else's blog. Every hour she has all kinds of tips and tricks that she shows to her audience, and I think that's really, I think it's impressive, the fact that she was able to grow that fan page to over 1 million likes. No Facebook marketing, maybe just auto posting, some of the stuff, because a great thing about fan pages is you can post your own. You can post 3 pieces of content for the day and time it at different times of the day, so you can have your whole post for the day and you don't have to worry about it. So I can show you how that would work. So if I were you, when it comes to fan pages, I would follow this Quirky Mama, just because she's done a great job, and it's still growing like crazy. So if you ever wanted to post something like a photo or a status update, this is just a sample. You can go here and schedule your posts. You can schedule the date, the time, and whatever time zone you're in, and it'll then you can do that for the rest of the week if you wanted to, and it saves you a lot of time, right? Because we all want to use our time wisely, right? I mean, we don't want to be here all day, always posting. I mean, obviously, if there's something you like, then post it. Another great tool to have is on your phones. Download the Facebook fan page app. I download it on my phone. If there's a picture that I want to share, maybe I'm on a trip somewhere, maybe I'm at the beach, I can just post that picture, right? Something inspiring, or share a story about it, and just post it on my fan page. And people, people love pictures. People love videos. If you have videos, if you love doing videos, start posting videos. If you're scared of doing videos, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to start doing them, because the only way to get over it is just to start doing them. Just trust me from experience. It took me 3 months to do my first video, and it wasn't the best. It was terrifying. I was mumbling, and I was stuttering most of the time. But now, just through practice and consistency and just being persistent about it, you get better at it. And you know, I always say practice makes progression. I don't say practice makes perfect because there's no such thing as perfection. So, you know, these are some of the things you do. Another, so I'll show you, I get my 80, some of the other things that I have. So this is, I'm going to leave this. So this is the page that I have. It's just all about the 80s. And, you know, sometimes I don't even look at this. I have everything scheduled. Like, you know, I'll take a day out of the weekend, take about an hour or two to post a month's worth of content. And, you know, it's kind of like setting it and forgetting it. And I don't worry about it. And, you know, like some of the engagement on this is crazy. There's some where I've gotten like, you know, 15,000 people reached, and you know that's not paid. That's all organic. I haven't done any Facebook, you know, ads on this, and it's just people sharing it, right? People sharing and liking and commenting, because that's what Facebook likes, right? They want you to give like good content, you know, people, you know, content that people can enjoy. And you know, you don't always have to keep on promoting your business. You can do it, they say, about 10% of the time, right? You know, start just giving quality. You know, some people actually, you know, start building a following first before they even actually sell something. I remember there was a website, I don't remember what it was called, but all they did was share like funny videos and, you know, just funny stuff. And they just started building a following until, you know, when they hit a certain number, they started merchandising like t-shirts and videos and accessories, and, you know, that's when they started monetizing because they had that following, right? You know, this is why fan pages are great. I mean, you know, just because you have your first like doesn't mean you're going to, you know, promote your business right away. Start giving some value out, right? Whatever you give to the world, you'll receive back for sure. You know, I always believe in that. So I don't know if there's, I'm trying to find one where it has like a good amount of engagement. But, you know, this is what this tells you, like, you know, how many people it's reached, how many likes, people who are on the post, how many shares, the comments, you know, post clicks. You know, the fan pages are very, you know, very analytical. You can use it for a lot of things. Insights is a great use. It'll tell you, you know.
You don't get those insights that you're looking at right now. You don't get those on a regular Facebook page, like a personal Facebook page, do you?
Not a personal profile. This is all on a Facebook fan page. But I think
that's why it's even that much more important sometimes to have your own Facebook fan page, whether it's for, like what she said, you know, your own niche or your topic or yourself. And
yeah.
some people like me at first, I felt kind of narcissistic having my own Facebook fan page. I was like, well, I just have my own profile page. Like, why do I need to have this fan page? And I thought, well, like, isn't that kind of like a little bit egotistical, like my own little world all about me? And I got over it real fast because I realized that it's actually just a different way to engage with people, but you get more stats and more information. So if you're like me, you might have had that too. So sorry to jump in there, Sheen. I just wanted to make sure people knew that you don't get that information on a personal page. It's only if it's like a fan page or a business page.
Oh yeah, no problem. And the thing with Facebook profiles is you're only capped up to 5,000 friends. So obviously you want to reach out to a bunch more people, right? I mean, you see, you know, actors' fan pages like The Rock, Tyrese, you know, they have like over 1 million fans, and you know, they have great engagement. You know, they get like sometimes over, you know, 500,000 likes and comments and shares, and people love them. That's how, you know, we get viral sustainability. People sharing other people's stuff. So, you know, if you're very analytical, having a fan page is a great thing. Then you can tell, you know, it tells you which posts were the most engaging, you know, if your reach went up or down, how many likes you had this week, and I think you need a minimum of 30 likes to get the insights. So just take that in consideration. And sorry, let's just get back to. So like here it's telling me, you know, from last week it went up 14%. My new page likes went down. So and here's where it tells you, you know, which posts had a lot of engagement.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get all this just from a Facebook fan page. Which I think is pretty cool. And you know, sometimes, you know, actually the other one that I had, the healthy recipes one, I haven't really posted a lot of stuff, but for some reason it just kind of like out of nowhere I would get like 200 likes in a week, and I have no clue why. You know, that's what happens when you build something. You consistently build it, and then, you know, if you kind of fall off from it, like, it just comes out of nowhere, right? This is why it's so important to just keep building content, because you don't know, you know, you think it might not work, but it's there forever, right? It's internet real estate that's going to stay there forever, and you don't know when it's going to work for you or when it's not going to work for you, which is why building these fan pages are, you know, a great way to engage with, you know, an audience you can relate to, whether it's knitting, whether it's learning how to play guitar, whether it's a favorite TV show. You know, TV shows are great. You know, I've seen some people who have like a Walking Dead fan page, and they go nuts. You know, I see a lot of people always talking about The Walking Dead. For me, it's no, you know, I've never really gotten into it, but, you know, if that's something you like talking about, start talking about The Walking Dead, right? And, you know, just, you can find ways to monetize it, whether it's creating your own T-shirts or, you know, selling stuff on Amazon, having a blog, right? You can use those things. So let me cancel the share screen.
Yeah, and I know there's always debate on whether, you know, you should have a fan page or not. I know a lot of people out there think that you don't need to have one, you know, but I guess in all of our opinions, we think it's actually a great way to, you know, to build yourself up and build your business up and build up some engagement on Facebook. Because as you mentioned, Sheena, you know, we're capped at 5,000 friends. But on fan pages, you know, the possibilities are endless. So I really think it is great to definitely have at least one fan page, and then you can branch out like what you're doing with multiple fan pages. There's a lot more freedom there.
It's also, from a compliance standpoint, as from being marketers and the like, if you advertise or you actually try to sell something on your personal page, you actually violate Facebook's terms of service. They can actually suspend your account if they wanted to. So by having it over on the fan page or the business page, you actually have now said, okay, Facebook, this is how you're telling me to operate. I'm doing it that way. Now nothing can come back into your personal space and actually, you know, take your own personal account away. You won't have to get the Facebook slap on the wrist for anything. Because you're doing it through the fan page or anything like that, now it's okay. Now Facebook is saying this is the space that you should be doing that in. Not on your own personal wall, your own personal timeline from that. So from a compliance standpoint, it's always better to play within those rules because it is Facebook's space. That's how they're saying to operate within, and they're going to give you better optimization towards it in the Facebook fan page, doing it that way, or through a Facebook business page. Like if you have a local business, if you're a chiropractor, if you're a doctor, you know, they know how to optimize towards that, but they don't know how to optimize towards your own personal stuff because people are gonna. Lately, there's been a big debate going, or like not a big debate, but a lot of people are kind of upset because a lot of their reach isn't as much as what it used to be in their personal page. And it's because they're going through their personal page to try to market and advertise with, which is basically not really advertising, it's phishing. Because you're doing hope marketing, which is just asking for whatever happens to come back in your way, but you're actually not going out and targeting anybody. You're just relying on that organic reach that you had at the beginning. But now if you put stuff out there and you're upsetting people, you know, people are just you're gonna devalue what people think of you from the beginning. So doing it the other way with the fan page, it's protecting you a lot more than most people realize. It's actually just doing it in a way that Facebook likes.
Yeah, and I mean, I know a lot of people have had their Facebook accounts literally shut down, and it's due to a number of reasons, and one of them is that reason. Like, people will click, I don't want to see that post. And if they get too many of those, or people report the page because they don't want to see what content you're producing, you know, that can be really harmful for you because Facebook can shut your account down. Yeah. So if you're on a fan page and you're building a target market, you know, that's where it's at. I mean, she's taking pictures. You know, like on your personal page, not everybody is going to want to know about your business. Yeah. They just won't. You know, your closest friends and family may not be interested in your business. So if you are posting anything on your personal page about your business, it's okay, but you only want to do it maybe 10 to 20% of the time, if that. That 80–90% of the time you should be giving value and just posting personal.
Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, when you go,
stuff.
well, look at what happens. You go to somebody's page. Let's say that you go to somebody's timeline, and you go on there, and it's somebody that's new into the online space. And what do you normally see? They're barfed all over their page with all this. Join blah blah blah. Check this out blah blah blah. This is the next greatest thing. You have to have this, and all you do is like. Some people don't report it. I'm sorry. Some people will report it as spam, but they won't block the user though. That's what's weird. They won't unfriend the person or send them a message. They'll just straight report it, and then you don't realize you're getting all these complaints on the back end that are hurting what you're trying to do. So going through back to what we said earlier about going through the fan page or through a business page, it helps it a lot more.
Yeah, it does. There's actually a strategy that we have literally used that's brought in a fair amount of money. Like I would have to say literally thousands of dollars from one person that's come into our community through a specific strategy on Facebook. And I mean, while we're talking about income,
almost $5,000.
Yeah, it's been well worth over $5,000, this particular strategy, and it's free. And you know, while we're talking about income, we do want to let you know that these results are not typical and nothing is guaranteed. And you can see our income disclosure at what is it?
Income.mavericslifestyles.com.
Yeah, you guys can go to that income disclosure.
Yeah. And I think, check right here, just scroll to the bottom of the page just to make sure. But if you, no, we don't have.
I was about to say there's a disclosure at the bottom of this page.
There will be one there shortly.
There will be one there shortly. You could click on that link and check out our average earnings, which are actually updated live every 24 hours. Or you can check them out at income.mavericslifestyles.com. You know, and it's the Facebook Open Graph strategy. And I know when it first came out, it's something you had to download onto your profile, but I've heard that it's automatically there now for people when they sign up for a Facebook account. So if you don't have it, just Google Facebook Open Graph, and you'll find that tool, and it'll be inserted at the top of your profile in the search bar.
Yeah, it's just the regular search bar now is what it is.
Yeah.
But you can use it in different ways. You can, let's say that you want to find, let's just say you want to market towards or find anybody that you want to talk to, someone who, let's say, works at Coca-Cola and lives in Orlando, Florida. You can just type that in, and it'll give you a list of people that fit that description. Now, you can mess around with that and just get as creative as you want with it, and you'll find out that sometimes it's kind of spooky, but this is all information that people have openly put out there and shared already. So it's not like you're spying on anybody or doing anything creepy. It's stuff that's all public information that they've openly shared. So that's what I always thought was interesting, you know. And there's people that are finding family members this way. There's people that are increasing their professional reach as well. There's I know that there's a kid that's like 13 years old that was autistic, and he wasn't like, traditional schooling wasn't good for him. So he reached out on Facebook. His mom gave him Facebook, gave him an account. He's like 13 years old, and he went out, and he's wicked smart. Like, he's actually starting now to like debunk some of Einstein's theories on stuff, and actually showing different ways of thinking about stuff. But he's using Facebook to connect with other people that are all around the country doing that. So I don't know how many physicists there are in the world, or people that talk about string theory and quantum mechanics and all that stuff. But for this 13-year-old kid, he's into that stuff, and that was his outlet on the world. But traditionally, like 10 years ago, that would have been a person that was ostracized and just basically an outcast in society. But now it's actually a healthy thing where there's a whole environment for him to be healthy in and just grow. So I think using the Facebook Open Graph method allows you to talk to anybody anywhere about whatever topic you want to talk about. And you can just talk about how you kind of used it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit of a time-consuming process because once you find the people that you're wanting to find, that target market, you know, you can go through when you can actually start messaging these people. And you know, you want to be careful with this because if you message a certain amount of people that aren't your friends on Facebook already, you know, you will get some sort of ugly messages from Facebook and you might get blocked for a couple of days and go into Facebook jail, as we say. There's a few things that could happen if people are not your friends and you're messaging them. I don't know if it's still like this. I don't know if anybody can let me know, but I think when you message somebody and they're not your friend, I think it still goes into the other folder. Is that right? Do you guys? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's still like that. And I think a lot of people don't check their other folder very often. So if you're messaging somebody that's not a friend of yours, you know, don't expect a message back, you know, straight away because they may not see the message. They may not see it at all. You can friend that person, but be careful with that as well because Facebook doesn't like you friending like a zillion people in a day, especially if you don't know them. And it's always great to message somebody first. So if you're using the Facebook Open Graph method, you know, just be careful with it and don't just send your link out to somebody and spam people. I don't know about you guys, but I get this every day. You know, I get people pitching me on opportunities every single day, and they're not building a rapport and relationship with me. They're just messaging me or they're friending me, and they're just pitching me their opportunity. They're sending me a link telling me they can help me or whatever it is. And, you know, I don't know if any of you guys saw this the other day, but Eric Worre had put up a video, I think it was called MLM Idiots. And he was talking about, you know, the MLM idiots, the people that get online and they just spam the hell out of everything. And it's really, really disrupting the industry right now. And it's going to get to a point where we're not going to be allowed to post on any platform because of these people. So it's a big concern, and it's our job to educate people as much as we can about this and how not to do it. So when somebody spams me with something, instead of just deleting it, I usually write back to the person and say, hey, you know, you don't know me, you know, you need to be building a little bit of a relationship and rapport with me before you start sending me your link or even see if I'm interested. It's not cool. Just, hey, I wanted to let you know. Don't take it personally. But, you know, this is what we're supposed to do here. And usually I get a good response from it when I actually message people back because a lot of the time it's people that are brand new or people who just do not have the education. They don't know what they don't know. So that's usually what it is, and I think it's our job to make sure that we let those people know that, hey, this is not cool, this is how we do it. So just be really careful with Facebook Open Graph that you're not going out there messaging and friending and spamming people. It is a time-consuming process. It's something you want to do consistently each day or every few days if you're looking to gain more targeted people to build connections with. But as we said, like that strategy alone has literally made us thousands of dollars from one person coming into our community, and it's free. So it's a very powerful technique on Facebook that allows you to get to the right target market.
But you did it. You have to do it in a way that's reaching out to someone and actually showing an interest in what they actually are about. Mm-hmm. You know, there you have Facebook. It gives you what's called the About section on someone's timeline. Use it because they put all their information in there that says, hey, this is about me. Why don't you read that first before you actually even go to say hi to me? So you might be able to know a little bit more about me. It's like the guy walking up to the girl at the bar and saying, hey, let's get married and talk about, you know, the names of our children right now. Like, it's just like, whoa, hey, hold on, I just met you. Like, get away from here. You know, you got to buy me a drink first, or we you know, let's see what we have in common before we get anything to the next step. You know?
Yeah, that's right. You want to make sure you can relate to that person and you actually have something in common to talk about. Or you're gonna have a little trouble like striking up any kind of conversation.
Yeah.
So
it's basically just because it is. We've got to remember it's a social platform. So be sociable. Don't be a creep. I mean, if you're the creep on the playground, no one's going to be your friend. Like, no one's like, you're going to just be the creepy dude on the playground. You know, you don't want to be that person. So it's the same thing, just as we're older now. It's doing the same stuff. It's a social platform, so keep it social. Keep it sociable, keep it open, but not creepy. And that kind of ties back into, I mean, so the Facebook Open Graph search, that's free. That's something that's, if you don't have a lot of money, but you have a lot of time, you can use that method. It will take you some time to gain some traction with it, and you're building a relationship with people. That does help you build a following, so you can tie that back to your fan page as well. I know that liking and commenting on stuff from a fan page sometimes really helps out as well.
Yeah, and sharing, that's extremely powerful. Yep. Definitely. So yeah, I mean, let's bring Stephanie out here and see what she has to say about Facebook and what kind of techniques and strategies she's using right now. So Stephanie, take it away.
Oh, hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. You know, first of all, I am very grateful and thankful that you guys joined me and invited me here. I've learned so much. I thought I knew Facebook, but you know, after today, I think I have, you know, a few things, extra things on my up my sleeves that I'm eager to go out and try out. And you know, the things about what Sheena shared with fan pages, I didn't know that was possible. And when I saw those numbers and when I saw what was possible, that looked very sexy to me. And the graph search, oh my goodness, we could do so much. Now, just a brief bio about me. I come from an child development education background, and I like to think in terms of human psychology, why we do the things we do. And since social media is about meeting with people and interacting with people and just building relationship based on understanding each other, let's just go from there. So we now that we know the tools, now that we know the fan pages, and we kind of have a rough idea of who our targeted audience is going to be. But the fact of the matter is, we know the targeted audience, but we have never met them. We have never seen them. We don't know where they live. We don't know how they look like. It's like sending a message to the abyss. And in the beginning, when we're starting as a beginning marketer, that is extremely scary. And I remember when I was cutting my first video, I think I ended up like saying the same message 80 different times until I finally said, okay, forget it, I'm just gonna post this anyway. Because it was that fear factor. It was a factor of knowing that, okay, I know my market, I know my niche, I know what I want to do, but you know, I don't see that person on the other side. How do I do it? It's that we need that extra, I would say, extra motivation to give us that kickstart, jump start in our journey. So I came up with the formula. We can call it formula if you're like left brain person. We can call it recipe if you're more creative. Okay. But either way, this has worked for me. So the first thing you want to ask is you want to check out what's trending on Facebook. What's everybody talking about? What's out there? What's being shared? And usually on the side of the Facebook, we have this list of what's trending right now, right? And you see this zigzaggy arrow. And you look at that side, and then you said, okay, these are the things that are already going viral, and a lot of the people on Facebook are talking about it. So what is it? So you do a little step back and go online and research about it, okay? And then when you make a post or when you make an advertisement, you throw this what if question, or you throw this did you know question, okay? And when you do that, I mean, we do that often enough when we go to a party, when we go to a social gathering. We first introduce ourselves, but we always do that icebreaker question. Oh, did you know? Did you heard about this? Right? So start with that. And so the number one thing we should focus on is what is it? What's happening? Okay? So you make a simple headline, like a question, 1 or 2 sentences, right? And then you talk about how does it work? Okay? How does it, whatever you're doing, how does it work for you? So show some examples of that. And then, of course, it's in all of our nature. We want to find out, well, how is that going to help me? Right? So if I'm always asking questions about how is it going to help me, I'm sure we can automatically think that, everybody else is going to be thinking that same question. So, think about one or two phrases or sentences to answer how is it going to help you and me, right? And then we always end or lead with the story. Well, this is what happened to me. This is what I found out, and this is what I shared, and this is beneficial for everybody, or it will be beneficial for all of us because this is what's going to happen. Okay, that's basically my format. So to recap, I'll say number one, what is it? What's happening? Number two, how does it work? Show some examples. And number three, what does it mean for me? And number four, this is very important, always illustrate and close with the story. We always know that facts tell, but stories sell, right? And just to show my illustration, I'm going to do a little screen share. Okay, let's see. Is this screen share on the toolbox or it's that green arrow? Okay.
It's the
green arrow.
Okay, so can you guys see me here?
We can see you. We can't see the screen yet.
Okay, let's see. Share. Here's my Facebook. Can you see my Facebook?
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So this is what I post on my Facebook regular page. It's not my fan page. So I just wanted to see how much engagement that I could get out of this. I was just inviting people, right? So I wrote things like, good morning, everyone, TGIM, and I put a question mark. Did the boss man Zuckerberg's decision to crack down on overly promotional posts and limiting visibility in the news feed got you singing the blues? So this is what's happening right now. And I noticed, I saw some people, blogging about it, and I saw some things on the news media. So I thought, that would be a great catch 22 phrase I guess I can use. So I did that. And then soon after I said, no worries. And then I put, what you doing today? Want to come and hang out with the rogue entrepreneurs? Because I noticed that was the name of the hangout, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So my headline right here basically, answered the question, what is it? What's happening, right? What's happening everywhere? It's not just, in our niche or in our subgroup, what's happening everywhere? What is it? What is this thing that's going to affect everybody, right? And then I wrote, okay, why don't you come on over and, look at what we're sharing. And then we'll be sharing ninja stuff to do on Facebook to build your business online. Join us today. And I just sent the location and share this. So basically, what I did was I presented what is it, what's happening, okay? How is it going to benefit me, right? Where is it going to happen? And maybe later on today I can illustrate and do a little screen share on what we shared here today, right? And that will be my story. Okay, and when you post your engagement this way, number one, people will be thankful that you're sharing ideas and information and you're giving stuff, right? Engaging people, giving stuff. You're not spamming. You're not telling them to buy anything. You're just always providing new information, okay? And when you do that, there is at least a smaller percentage of possibility of people treating you as a spam, right? And we don't have to talk to people in a messaging box, private messaging box. We can openly share this out. And when people are interested and people like what you do, actually this happened to me many times. They come to you. You don't have to go to them. They come, a lot of people come to you and ask you questions like, oh, I like what you're doing. So what is this that you do? Right? Which is much easier than you going out there and telling people, come to the hangout, come look at this, come do this, come buy that, right?
Yeah, Stephanie, what I think is kind of cool is underneath your post, what you actually see is you've already had 3 shares on it. And
yes.
So what that means as well is that 3 people saw it, they liked what you had, they shared it on their walls, they put it out to their audience. Who knows how much further they share it as well too. So now you've started that viral sustainability for easy traffic back to your stuff. And what's really cool about it too is this Hangout's actually a PHP or affiliate coded Hangout. What that means is that anybody that shares it as well, they can change an ID that they have at the end of it, and it will all code right back to them as well to be the referring person, so that they still get credit for their hard work to still stay within their network, which is actually really cool. So I think that free traffic like that it took you all of what, probably
less than a minute.
Yeah, maximum 2 to 3 minutes to do all that. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. So now it's already going out to other people as well. So it's a good thing. So that's how easy it really is for something that simple. I think that's great.
Yeah.
And so if you use this method, you can use it on your fan page, you can use it on your personal page, and you can pretty much use the same method for blogging as well. So it works.
Yeah, you can definitely send people over to your blog to have a look at your content there, which is more free traffic, which is great.
So, is there any other questions, or is that this has been my format that's been generating leads, generating traffic, and
I think having a big picture as well does help to garner engagement, not just a link. Having an actual engaging picture,
okay,
that I think that has a lot to do with it as well too. It's actually, I don't think there's actually been a lot of testing behind that. So actually having a larger image does help.
Yeah, I think I've tested it a few times with a few things I put on Facebook, and I definitely get more engagement on my regular page or my fan page if a picture is attached to it, or if I put up a quote or something, I actually make that an image. So yeah, the images are always really great. It grabs people's attention, which is good.
I'm actually glad we saw that, because on that my phone was over there talking to me. on that image that you had there, it was actually, when we shared it, it looks like it says 2:15 p.m. PST. It's actually 12:15. So now we saw that on someone else's page. So now we know that we need to go in there and edit our picture. Make sure that we don't have people going at 2:15 to it, because obviously they'd be getting a replay instead of being live. So now we saw that one little thing, and it's all positive, because now you
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've covered a fair amount today. I know we didn't get too much into the paid strategies. I think later on down the line we'll probably do a hangout specializing in.
We can probably cover some of it.
Okay, you can quickly if you like.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll only really take about
a little overview.
Yeah, just a quick overview, and
yeah, let's do that.
I'm not going to do a screen share or anything. I'm actually just going to run through some questions that I actually want you guys to just write down. And these are questions to ask to do research before you start targeting your market. And these questions that you ask, if you do your research, how we talked about earlier about Facebook being easy to use, if you don't do this part, you will struggle and you will have problems. It's hands down. You will, if you don't do this part correctly and put the time into this part here, this can make or break a lot of it, like all your hard work that you do on Facebook. And so normally Facebook is a time waster for a lot of people. Now we want to try to turn that into a money maker. So going from a time waster to a money maker is what the whole gist of this whole hangout is trying how to actually start doing that. And it does boil down to finding your target market easily. So let's take the doctor who's let's take our buddy Dr. Steve. He's an optometrist. You know, he's a so our buddy Dr. Steve. Let's say that he actually wants to drive more business into his local practice. So if he's down in, is he in Sarasota? No, he's in Lake Boca, isn't he? I think he's in Boca, down that way, right, Sheena? Somewhere down there, I think. Okay. So let's say he's down there. Well, he needs to research some of his target market. And some of the questions that he needs to ask is for whether it's what books, magazines, newspapers do people read that would put them into his office. Now, you think, well, I'm having a headache and I'm straining to read. So is it normally the kids that would want to go into the eye doctor, or would it be the parents? Normally it would be the parents. So, you know, we know that it's the parents. So we could actually drive down and say, well, what books and magazines and newspapers and e-zines, what do they read as parents? So that first question to ask is, what books, magazines, and newspapers do these people read? That's a great question to ask. And now let's say that you're in a niche market and you want to ask that's not really doctor related, because this one's kind of a harder one. Who are authority figures, thought leaders in your niche? So who are like some of the top people or brands that you have within your niche as well? And that's another question to ask. And these are just simple questions that if you just write all these questions out on a sheet of paper and you just do this repeatedly over and over and over again, it's going to help you really narrow down your target market. What events do these people attend? So if they're parents, we're getting back to the doctor, if they're parents on it, where do these people, what kind of events do they attend? If there's a local school that's having an event, you could maybe find out, well, they're at the school. What schools are they at around there? You could list all those ones. Are there private schools as well? Now you know that you're hitting a different target market because people are paying to actually send their children to school. They obviously care a lot about their children. You know, they want the best for them. They're going to go ahead and, let's say your prices might be a little bit higher. Okay, well, that might be a better target market for you to go towards, some people that are doing private schooling and the parents of those. What websites do they frequent? So what websites would those parents be at? If you're in golf, what websites do golfers go to? Now, the tool you can use to help you find out what sites people go to isn't it similarsites.com?
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually go to similarsites.com and it'll give you, basically it's like a thesaurus for marketing and for other like sites. You can go on there and find similar sites to pretty much anything. Let's say that there's golfdigest.com. You could put that in there, and it'll actually tell you all similar sites that are similar to that. And now you have a broader audience to market towards people that might like certain things there. You also want to ask the question of, where do these people live?
Yeah, I mean that's applicable mostly for people who have got like local businesses that want to target people in their area.
Yeah, if it's a local business.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If not, you don't really. It doesn't. You could at least go, what country would you be targeting? Because what country, what language are people speaking? You know, if you're going to be English speaking, you're going to go. You know, you're not going to go to Japan. You're not going to go to Turkey. You're not going to go to Istanbul. Like you're not going to do that. You're not going to go to Mexico. You can, but it's going to be a lot harder to get your initial targeting down. So you're going to leave that broad. What tools do these people use? And by tools, I mean, let's say that let's say we're going to switch gears away from the doctor, but let's say that you're looking towards marketers or you're looking towards bloggers. What apps do they use? What are some of the tools that they use every day? Let's say that they are using, they're digital marketers and their direct response. Are they using email autoresponders? Are they using GetResponse? Are they using Aweber? Are they using MailChimp? Infusionsoft? Constant Contact? What are all these different things, the tools that people use? And that can help you narrow down your target audience. But the main question you want to ask and think about is what is specifically different or unique about this group that you're targeting. And you can, if you don't know what it is, you can use Google to research it further. You can use the graph search that's in Facebook. You can go in there, and Facebook actually gives you a free tool as well. It's called Audience Insights. And Sheena, I know that you're doing a lot of stuff with your fan pages. I don't know if have you ever used the Audience Insights on the inside the ads manager before yet? Oh, well, unmute her. There you go. There we go.
I haven't yet, but I've seen like the things you can do with Audience Insights as to like SEO and targeting your audience, and it's pretty cool. So
yeah, I didn't even know it existed, and I'm in Facebook and all sorts of different things, and I think it only came out like a few months ago for the Facebook ads. So I didn't even know about it till a couple of days ago, literally. So I was really excited when I saw it. I was like, oh wow, this is really powerful,
Yeah, it is.
You do a lot of things with it. So
yeah. And it also boils down to the custom audiences as well that you can plug in as well when you're doing retargeting campaigns. I mean, retargeting is another topic altogether, but custom audiences as well is very powerful.
Yeah, the retargeting with it. Now, it's hard to go in there and basically show the screenshot of the retargeting process because you can see some of the beginning stuff. It gets a little bit more, not difficult, but challenging to show because every website has their own different way of putting conversion pixels and things like that in there. But don't let that stuff bog you down because those are things that you can Google any YouTube video on how to embed it in a WordPress site. Facebook has videos in their advertising that actually shows you how to actually embed the pixel code. Basically, you're just copy and pasting a little piece of text and embedding it into the header of all your pages that you want to track. Now, with what Facebook has now is Facebook made it. If you were an email marketer or you had a list of people that had shown interest about your product or service and you had a list of those emails, you could import those into Facebook. And you used to be able to import them directly into Facebook, and Facebook would match up the email or unique identifier of that person on Facebook and actually help you advertise to them. Now, that used to be really time-consuming to do that every single day. What Facebook does now is, with the new conversion pixels that they have, if you're trying to build clicks to your website, what you can do, and this is actually really cool, what Facebook has done is they've given you basically a retargeting pixel code that you can drop on your website. Every page that you're at, you can do it site-wide or individual site or individual pages, whatever you want. And what Facebook will do then is anybody that goes to your website outside of Facebook, okay, and no matter where that traffic comes from, so anybody that visits your website will get this code dropped onto their site onto their computer. What this code will allow them to do now is for the next however many days you have it set up in your ad manager, you can now target those people again with your ads easily. It'll already know who they are, where they're at. It'll track all that information easily. You can basically go in there with one button, click one button, and get that list of people that have visited your site within the last 30, 60, up to 180 days, so 6 months. You can retarget those people. And some of the stats that we were kind of going through with retargeting is actually pretty impressive. It's almost 50% of people, or I'm sorry, 50% of your sales are getting left on the table if you're not retargeting. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I kind of want to touch on retargeting a little bit because a lot of times it's viewed wrong, and I really mean wrong because it's a misconstrued and warped perception about retargeting, because a lot of times it's done incorrectly and it becomes annoying as hell to the person on the other end of the computer, so in the consumer. A good instance of it done kind of annoying, and I'm going to throw this out there, is Zappos. And if anybody's ever if you want to see retargeting at its like most over the top kind of, and it seems like I've gone back to this example a couple times and it never fails really, is you can go to Zappos website and just look up any type of shoe you want. Search on their site for women's black stiletto heels, whatever. Like find some crazy shoe. Go to Zappos.com website, look it up, and search for a shoe. And then less than like 2 hours later, you're going to be seeing ads for Zappos stuff all over the place, no matter what website you're on. Now that's retargeting that just gets annoying, because let's say that your friend came over and you wanted to just check out something real fast, or you clicked a link off of Facebook but it's dropped this code on you. Well, sometimes it's not applicable to what you're looking for, and that's just annoying and over the top. So that's a way where it gets annoying. But what you can do, though, is you can really set down dynamic stuff with it. Let's say that person went to your website, and instead of looking for the shoe and everything, they made it all the way to the checkout page with a shoe in their checkout page. Well, instead of targeting the people that just searched for that one shoe, you can target the people that were ready to buy but didn't make a decision right there to buy. So instead of targeting all these people that are over here, you can target the people that were actually over here with stuff in their cart ready to go. And those are the people that were ready to buy and make a decision. Now, those are the people where life could have gotten away. It could have been, they had a bad internet connection, their kid was screaming, all of a sudden they got a phone call from a friend, mom called, dad called, whatever it was, they had to run out, go to work, whatever. They abandoned it. So for whatever reason, those are the people you can retarget. Now, that same principle can apply back into direct selling or direct marketing, whether it's network marketing, whether it's affiliate marketing, anything that you're doing. It just means that those people did not have enough time to make a decision. Life happened. So those are the people that you would want to target again. And that's when retargeting doesn't become annoying, because you can just say, hey, you can throw another ad back on Facebook about those same shoes again and say, hey, didn't have enough time to, we saw that you didn't take advantage of this. Here they are again. You can pose simple questions that won't be annoying. But it's leaving that 50% of sales on the table because life just happened. Now, we didn't realize it, and I'm kind of a stats person. I don't like to. I'm a numbers guy now because I started digging into everything a little bit more, and I deal with it a lot every day. But a lot of people focus on different things like click-through rates and things that don't really matter that much, because what matters is actually the sale at the end of it. Like when we're talking about marketing, we're talking about nothing happens until you exchange money. So, retargeting is not blasting people after they've already said no. It's a subtle reminder going back into something that says, hey, we're still here for that. Everybody goes through sales cycles, no matter what it is. And what I realize is that if you do like a direct mail, let's say, now I'm going to kind of switch gears, and let's say we're talking about solo ads, or you're driving direct traffic right to your website. Only 2% of people will ever make a decision to just buy right off the bat. So let's say that you send 1,000 people to your website. I'm sorry, let's say we send 100 people to your website. On a good day, 2 people will actually make a decision to buy something right off the bat. 2 people out of 100. And that's good. That's on the high end of it. Mm-hmm. So now you need a way to actually just remind people until they can make a decision to say yes or no. That's all you're doing with retargeting. It's not aggressive. It's kind of an art form in a way to do it, but it's kind of just a subtle reminder, because you can change your frequency. You can see all that stuff with Facebook. That's why Facebook is cool, because you can see all that stuff. Let's say you showed an ad to someone 10 times, between 8 to 10 times, and that's the frequency chart. If you see that frequency chart and it's like spiked all the way up, and no one's engaging with it, well, right now that you can pretty much cut it down. Facebook normally won't let it get that high either. Mm-hmm. But that's why retargeting is so good. But getting back to the stat, though, so 2% of those people will ever make a decision to buy. So what about those other 98% of people that went to your site? That's just they've already came to your site one time. That they were there for a reason. So it's just that they came to your site as a destination location. They came there looking for something. It's up to you to give them more. you know, and that could be that data that you're getting. If you're not getting engagement on your website, that could mean something that you've mismatched your market. Like the people that are coming in aren't showing the interest that they have for how they're coming to your site. You know you're getting traffic. Well, what is the message that you're giving them over here? Is it something they want or something that they'll just walk away from? So that data and stuff, there's a lot in there. But everything just gives you a little bit more information about how you're doing. But the overall goal with Facebook and test campaigns and everything is just seeing if you can drive traffic. Once you start asking those questions that we talked about earlier about your target market, once you start asking those questions and get them down, that's where the magic of it all is. And I can't really stress any more important part of it. And the reason why I'm talking about it a little bit longer is because it's so important. It's critical. That first part is where if you don't get that right, everything you do over at the end of it is just going to be a struggle for you. So asking those questions will really help you get to where you need to be as far as finding your target market for it. And you'll hear that kind of just beat to death almost, like your target market, but you don't know how to find it. Well, there's different things you can use. It's just don't make it harder than it has to be. In setting up your ads and stuff in Facebook, let Facebook optimize most of the stuff for you. A lot of people will go in there, and there's so much stuff that you can target with it. Like you can target people that make over so much amount of money, people that are male or female, between what ages, and there's so much stuff you can do. But there's the third-party stuff in there that Facebook gives you. Here's a little pro tip: don't ever put anything in there, in the third-party stuff. Leave that alone, because some of the people that we've been talking to that have done, almost $500,000 in advertising with Facebook. So a large amount of money on Facebook they've spent in advertising. They've been fortunate enough to share with us some of their little tips, and that was one of them, was leave that stuff blank. Because,
yeah, I think it's the behaviors section.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, the third-party behavior stuff. Because that's not Facebook directly. That's them getting data from other places. So they said that every time they've done it, they've never had any good results with it. So they said we've just left it alone. And won't you talk about checking your ads and the frequency of checking your ads? Because she will. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah. Just to close out about the retargeting, I had no idea. I thought that Facebook would only retarget people that have come to your site on Facebook. But they're actually retargeting from anywhere online that those people go to. If they have a Facebook account, they will get retargeted on Facebook with your particular offer. And it's just so powerful. I mean, it doesn't matter where they came from. Google, like any other site, they'll get retargeted on Facebook. So as we mentioned, you're leaving 50% of your sales, potential sales, on the floor if you're not retargeting. That's the power of that.
The other little pro tip is if you want to save money when you're actually marketing on Facebook, if you actually want to try to save some money, once you go in there and you actually learn how to use the conversion pixels, when you use those, it's been proven so far to show it's 5 times less cost when you use a pixel, because it allows Facebook to optimize your stuff that much quicker when you actually use those conversion pixels. And that way they know if their data is working correctly or not.
Yeah.
So if you want to save some money, at least 5 times less money, and actually get your click rate down, or not your click rate, but your cost down, and your cost per click, things like that down.
Yeah.
Use those conversion pixels because it does help you.
Yeah, and I mean, if conversion pixels and code, if any of these words we've been talking about today are freaking you out, don't let it freak you out. It's really simple to use. And when you get started with our community, we actually help you through these kinds of things. We're all experienced here on Facebook, and we can, help you through those kind of things. But don't let it freak you out. It's really not a big deal. It's very simple to use. And just before we close out, I know we've gone a little bit over today, but we wanted to give you as much value as possible. When you are making ads, don't make the ad and sit there and check it every 5 minutes. It's something that I've done, and it's something that a lot of people do. When you make your ad and you get it running and it gets approved, don't look at it for at least 24 hours. I know that's going to be difficult, but don't look at it, because when you look at it, you start tweaking it, and you're going to screw the optimization up for Facebook. Facebook needs time to understand who you're targeting, and they need time to optimize it. And they actually, we've been actually told by.
I like this one. I like this question. What should you do within the first 24 hours of making an ad? It's nothing.
Absolutely
let the
nothing.
ad run. Just let it run. If you put $10 on there, you know, you put $10 or $15 into an ad. Let it just run for 24 hours. Let it do its thing so it can actually have time to optimize before you start going in there and changing. You know, well, now should I spend a little bit less money? Should I spend a little bit more money? What should I be doing? You know, you shouldn't really do anything for almost 3 to 5 days. Let Facebook optimize it to get the information they want. Because here's what's cool, and a lot of people don't realize this happens. When you're on Facebook, and let's say you like an ad, like you yourself, you're on Facebook, you see something and you actually see an ad and you click on it. What Facebook's now going to do is they're actually going to go and they're going to show that same ad to people that are similar to you, not necessarily your whole network of people around you that you have, your friends and family and everybody. No, what they'll do is the same interest and things that you have, they will optimize it for people that are very similar to your interest and in your behaviors. So it's actually really cool how they do it. A lot of people think, like, you ever see an ad that's kind of sketchy and you want to click on it, but you're afraid if you click on it, like, it's going to show up on your timeline that, like, everybody's going to know that you were clicking on that ad, like that you like something. Well, it's not like that with Facebook anymore. It's actually, you can, all they'll do is they'll actually target it to more people that are similar to you. So by just using your natural behavior and stuff on ads, it actually helps the whole process of advertising work better for everybody.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was really cool too, because when I found that out, I was like, oh, that actually makes sense now, because I just never used to. I used to think backwards about that part of it.
Yeah, so you know, when you're creating ads, don't screw around with them within the first 24 hours. You know, it takes 3 to 5 days, as we mentioned, for Facebook to actually optimize your ad. I know that sounds like a long time, but just let it run, and after between 3 and 5 days, that's when you can evaluate the results, and that's a whole nother field in there that we won't get into today. But you know, it's something that I did a lot. I would make an ad, and then I'd go in there and check it every 5 minutes. You know, and it's not good because you're not allowing Facebook any time to optimize the ad. And I would also go into ads a little bit blindly as well, and I wouldn't target correctly the way that I should be. I wasn't asking the questions that I should be asking that we went through before. I was just thinking about broad terms for my targeted audience. I was putting them in, I was making an ad, and then I was checking it every 5 minutes. If you're doing that, you're not going to get the results that you want. So make sure you take this information today and those questions, watch the replay if you have to grab those questions again, and ask yourself those questions. If you're doing paid Facebook marketing, who your target is, and answer. You don't have to answer all the questions, but majority of the questions. And if you don't know the answers, as we mentioned, go to Google and find the answers, or go to an expert in that field and ask them the answers to those questions. Yeah. That will really help you.
I think too that when you're researching your target market, you know, when you start asking some of those questions, the first thing that pops into your head sometimes is most likely too broad. So don't go with the first thing that just pops into your head. Just spend the time to go back in there. If it takes you 2 hours to go in there the first time when you start asking these questions, that's 2 hours well spent, because you're knowing who your audience is, you're knowing who your market is, and as we've probably been told time and time again, that your product is not your product. Your product is people. And we've all heard that from our good friend Aaron, who says that a lot. And it's actually true, because your product is people. And knowing what the people do, where they're at, what they like, what they're talking about, you know, what tools they use, where they live, what websites do they frequent, what events do they attend, what books, magazines, and newspapers do they read, who are the authority figures, thought leaders, or brands in the niche, and what is specifically unique about that group. That was just a whole quick rundown of all the questions that we normally ask. And another little pro tip is Amazon.com actually has magazine listings that actually help you find publications about audience interests. So Amazon actually has a huge database of a lot of stuff that you can use to kind of go in there and see like magazines and articles and things, because Amazon sells books and they sell publications now and they sell tons of them. So it's in their best interest to know publications very well. So you can use Amazon to actually help you uniquely identify all those things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that, I know we kind of just blasted through that with a lot of those questions really fast, but if you use that research, if you do your research correctly, it makes Facebook easy to use. If you don't do that, you're going to go in there and basically, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go into Facebook, you're going to create an ad, you're going to target either men or women in a certain group, age blah blah blah, that lives within a certain region, that likes like 3 different things. You're going to have an audience of about 17 million people, and you're going to market to everybody. And then you're going to overanalyze your results because they were so broad that you don't know what you're getting. And that's where a lot of struggle happens and a lot of frustration happens, and people will make an ad and they'll do that. Then we'll check it every 5 minutes. Then you'll go back in there and be like, well, you'll have the conversation with your loved one later on that night or somebody else around you going, I just don't really see what's going on. How is everybody else doing it? And you start doubting yourself. But really, it boiled down to just doing your research.
Yeah, and then you tell yourself it didn't work and that you wasted all your money, and then you give up. That's what most people do.
Yeah, so we can, by asking these questions, you can really streamline. Because the reason we know is because we've been there. We've done that same thing, too many times, and it's frustrating. It really is. You think like, oh man, I've spent all day, and then what happens? You go on Facebook and you'll go over to like somebody else's wall and you'll see all this good success and stuff, and then you start comparing yourself and you mentally tell yourself, oh man, like I just don't get what's going on. How are they doing it? What's the secret? That's my favorite one. What's the secret? Well, they researched. They did all that stuff, and when you actually talk to people and you see how people are doing things, they're doing their homework. They're putting in their time where it matters most. Mm-hmm. After that, that's where the easy part happens, because then they can actually have all the data that they need. And I think we're probably going to put together some cool little checklists and stuff for everybody as well. We might put together some free downloads just to have all this stuff so you guys can print it out and have it and just ask yourself those same questions as well, because it does help. Because when you go through that, it's a good 2-3 pages of information you're going to have, when you go to really narrow it down on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've covered a lot today. I'll get some final thoughts from you guys, from Stephanie and Sheena before we close out. I mean, don't get overwhelmed with all this information. Please don't. We've covered a lot. We've covered free marketing. We've covered paid marketing. We've covered fan pages, personal pages, the basis of paid marketing.
A little bit of retargeting.
Retargeting as well. I mean, as you can see, the scope of what you can do on Facebook for your business is massive. There are so many options, and once you get inside the system, it becomes simpler to use each day. The targeting options are insane. This is where the people are at. This is where it's at. So if you've ever had any doubts about Facebook, we hope today that we've alleviated those doubts today. And if you're still with us and you're interested in what we do and how we build our business, you can click on the link below this video and get started today. Or you can get back to the person that invited you to this call today, and they'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. They'll be happy to get you started. You can always leave them below this video as well. We'll definitely get back to you. Just get in. Don't think about it. Just get in. Get involved. You can get started today for $7. It's the price of a large Starbucks coffee to take a test run.
And a croissant.
And a croissant, yeah.
I like the buttered croissants. Those are good.
Just don't wait. Just do it. Life just passes us by when we don't make decisions. And, when we stop thinking with our heads and we start, listening to our hearts and what we really want to do in our lives, you just got to do it. You've got to do it now. There may not be any tomorrow. Our life is too short. You've heard it all before. But, it really is now the time. You're never going to be ready. There's never going to be a perfect time to get started. If you're on this hangout, you're watching, now is the time to get in. Get involved in our community. I mean, we have a lot of fun here. You get to hang out with us and jump on these cool hangouts and play around with Facebook and, you know, be part of a community that's really here to help each other out and, you know, build your own business, build your own life. So, you know, with that being said, Sheena or Stephanie, do you have any final thoughts before we close out? Unmute yourselves there.
You know, closing, you know, it's just pretty much what Alesha and John Paul said. You know, if you want to be a part of a community where you want to learn all this stuff, just click the button below. It's simple as that. I mean, it's already December. You're watching here because you want something different, but yet you're still deciding whether or not to click the button or not. You know, just click it, pick up your credit card, click it, and just join us. You know, it's not going to kill you. It'll probably, you know, help you out, right? You're here for a reason. You're here because you want something different. So that's all I have.
Yeah, for sure. And Stephanie, any final thoughts?
Yes, and first of all, thank you everyone for inviting me over here. I had a great time. And everyone who joined us, thank you for coming. And as you can see, we have fun here. We love what we do here, and we love helping people. And if your mouse is just ready to move, just go ahead and do it. I mean, this is what we do on the Hangout. Imagine what more information or what more things we can do with you when we, you know, when we create our own dreams together. Because yes, this is December. Yes, the New Year's is coming in about another month. You know, everybody wants to change. Everybody wants to start something new. Everybody's going to have New Year's resolutions. So why not do it with people who makes you get excited, who makes you want to learn some more? Because the thing is, once we understand the why, how is easy. It's always a matter of understanding the why. So thank you everyone for coming, and thank you for having us, Alesha and John.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know, like what Stephanie had said is that everything that we share on the Hangouts, this is just a fun thing that we do, like on our Mondays. You know, this is just what we give back every week. You know, we try to give something back. When you work with any of us at our higher levels, with anybody directly, I know that Sheena is just chock full of information and knowledge. I know that Stephanie is as well. So anybody that's invited you here, you know, don't be afraid to shoot them a private message as well. You just shoot them a message if you need to. You know, click the button that says yes, I'd like to get started today. Get back to whoever invited you here. If it wasn't, you know, anybody from the panel here as well. However you find this page, just get back to that person that invited you to see this. And just ask them more, you know, just ask them more, but don't ever be afraid also to I said to, but don't ever be afraid to just click the button and take your own action as well too, because the level of which you learn and apply things is going to be different than even us here. You know, there's people, we've been doing this for 2 years now, at least Alesha and myself. It's something where in this space, this is what we do every day. This is not like it's something where we're just fly-by-night people doing this. This is stuff where we're actively putting our time and our money on the line. We're not just not giving you guys lip service. You know, we're not just saying these things. This is stuff that we're actually doing every day. A lot of people that can be out there sometimes aren't actively doing that. They're telling you to do one thing, but then they're going out and they're doing something totally different. This is what we're doing every day, and we can take you in behind the scenes and show you a little bit more in-depth stuff as well that we do, but really it's actually the same thing as what we just told you. It's actually that simple because there's not much more to it other than just some of like the targeting options that we use sometimes, and just some of our campaigns, and that's just some of that's just personal stuff that we have with our credit cards and our money and all that. But I think we throw some of that out there on some of our private stuff that we do with our team members. And that's where a lot of the development happens, is the open forum to ask those questions. And it's actually here too. If you do have questions, post them in the comment and question box down below. Don't be afraid to hit the like button down beside the page as well. You know, engage with us, like, comment, share, do any of those things, because if you're out here in this space, you can't be in this space and be like 007. You can't be James Bond where no one knows who you are. You can't be a secret agent in this space. You need people to know who you are, what you're about, what your story is as well, what your why is, because then the how becomes easy. You know what that why is, why you're doing these things. I know that we all here have identified that very earlier on, and it really helps you stay focused sometimes. But click the button below that says, yes, I'd like to get started. Get back to one of these guys here. I know that I'm looking forward to giving some more information next Monday as well. And thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll
you.
see you all next week.
Okay. Bye-bye.